You don't go into too many towns and see a feed mill sitting on the square.
The Hartville Elevator has been told that it's an obsolete business for the better part of the last 40 or 50 years. And nobody driving by for that amount of time probably figured that we would still be here at this point.
My husband jokes that I buy more at the elevator to feed the birds than I do to feed him, but we laugh about it.
People come here not because they want to feel urban downtown. They come here because they want to feel small town charm and some of the history of what America's meant, and agriculture is a big part of that.
If you don't know your foundation and your roots, it's hard sometimes to find a pathway to the future.
So we were known as the boys on the square. For years we were that. The people didn't know who we were. That's what we were. My name is Ed Ringer. As far as being involved with the Hartville Elevator, my dad and Craig's father-in-law were owners prior to us. So I was involved with the Hartville Elevator from about 1950 until 2023. That's most of my life.
The thing I take a lot of pride in during the years at the elevator was the fact that Ed and I were able to work together all those years. I think going down through an old list of previous owners of the elevator, Ed and I had the longest time together as any owners in the past. We had different backgrounds. I didn't mess with his responsibilities, and he didn't mess with mine, and we both knew what we had to do to keep the company successful. I think the fact that my father-in-law ran it together, and things worked out, that the families just clicked, So.
Wheat season was a big thing for the dads. They would ship out by the train car load. They would buy it from the local farmers, and they had box cars that the railroad would put alongside the building. They'd fill them up, the box cars, with wheat and ship out the wheat out. I say that one of the biggest things for Craig and I was oil season when it got cold. And we had responsibilities on that like you wouldn't believe. I mean, we had to, well, at least I felt it was my responsibility to keep people warm in the area.
I think the Hartville Elevator Company, because of the longevity of the company being in business, continuous business since 1909, I think we've added that connectability between the past and the current. We provide that gateway, if you want to say, to the past.
Craig and I got to know a lot of these families because we were there so long.
I have lived here in the area since I was born, and my memories of shopping here at the Hartville Elevator go back probably as long as I can remember. Today I come to the Hartville Elevator to shop for my bird feed mainly. I wouldn't go anywhere else because they mix their bird feed here.
One of the keys about the importance about the viability of this business in particular, it is so visible. It sits right on the edge of our historic district, and it's such an iconic building for the downtown area of Hartville. So when people think Hartville, they often think of the mural on the side with the different feed insignias. That's just been part of Hartville for over 100 years. The values of the community in this area especially, we care that somebody is not just coming here to extract business. We care that they care about our community, they invest back into it, not just where their time and energy, but also helping with local projects, helping other businesses do things to keep them viable, supporting our local ball teams, Girl Scout troops, the Chamber of Commerce for that matter.
The Hartville Elevators in 2009 celebrated 100 years in the community. And it being one of the older businesses, it's a part of history. And I think it maybe draws people to Hartville.
I've heard it said by Michael Gerber in the E-Myth that a true product of a business isn't just what it sells, it's how it sells it. When you sell a product to somebody you might see in your community, it raises the accountability level. The idea of the quality and the change of that is much higher with a local business owner, and I encourage people to support it for that reason.
What happens today is tomorrow's history. Of course, I'm very interested in history and want to keep the history alive in downtown Hartville, and they really do try to do that here in the elevator.
We want to thank you for what you've done. Thank you, and this not only from Craig and I, this is from Virgil Ringer and Hubert Brumbaugh. Our dads, the same way, felt the same way. Thank you, people, for dealing with us and keeping us afloat, keeping us going. We just want to say thank you to all the people around here for doing business with us.
The last years were somewhat fun because I could see growth coming in the business, and also knowing that it was getting time to look for a new ownership. I have to say I'm kind of old school when it comes to social media and computers and so forth, and it was just time to get things upgraded, and I knew a new ownership would probably bring that to the company.
I'd probably driven by here about 20,000 times or so. I grew up right down the road, and in those 20,000 times, I never thought once that I would ever end up approaching them to buy this place, but it just, life circumstances happened. The Hartville Elevator was not on my top 10 lists of things to do up until that 20,000 times driving by, I would say. One of the issues with just the name, the Hartville Elevator Company, is if you are under the age of 50, there's a good chance you don't understand what the elevator part of the business is. And like, we still get calls every week regarding if we can come out and service or fix their elevators. And then we have to explain, no, we don't fix elevators, we don't sell elevators, like we are a grain elevator. The Hartville Elevator has probably a lot more products and services than most people even know about. Some of it's written on the front of our building, but that's not even a comprehensive list at this point. Our biggest retail items are birdseed, and then followed by livestock feeds, some of which we still make here. We also sell nationally branded livestock products. Our longest running service is custom feed mixing. So like, this is one of the oldest operating feed mills in the state of Ohio still at this point. So we still, even though the feed mixing part is not the biggest part of the business anymore, we still do mix custom mixes for people. We also make our own layer mash and hog feeds that we sell off the floor for people who just want to walk in and buy a few bags. And then the heating oil and off-road diesel delivery is something that they've done. I think they first started doing heating oil in 1955. So we're one of the oldest providers of heating oil in the area. This business already had lasting relationships with local suppliers of agricultural products, mainly farmers that would supply this place with corn or oats or other grains that we would make feed or birdseed with here. And I've been able to grow a lot of those relationships. In Hartville or Lake Township alone, there's only a handful of guys left that are still farming much. And I know most of them, and there's a good chance that all of them supply something here. Overall, the community has always been very supportive of this place. It's the only reason why it's still here after 116 years. I don't think this place outside of Hartville or Lake Township would have survived. So it's a testament to the local community support that I was able to buy the building in 2023 and not just be a liquidation auction, but the community in general. I think everybody is glad this place is still here. It's a local landmark. Many people walk through the doors, comment on, oh wow, I'm glad it's still going, and that you were able to buy it and you're fixing it up and still putting work into it. The prior owners, Craig and Ed, I think got through the hard times of old in-town feed mills. In the 80s and 90s, all of them were going out of business, and they made good choices to pivot the business, go in different directions, and it got us to where we are today. Coming forward today, I think people who are tired of your typical retail experience at lawn and garden supply places or any of the big box stores are excited to come back in here and kind of see what we're all about. My hope is that when people come to the elevator, they get a certain level of service, and hopefully they get the product that they need for whatever they're doing. When they walk out the doors, it's almost like a breath of fresh air as far as that it's not a painful experience. They weren't being sold to the whole time. There's a good chance when they come back that we might remember your name or what products you bought, and we can help you with either doing the same thing again, or if you're doing another project or whatever. Like there's some relationship that forms that you're only going to get at a local business, a mom and pop type store, that you're just not going to get at some of these bigger retailers. The retail business to us is as much of a personal interaction and a relationship with our customers as the actual business part of it. Our business is our interactions with our customers, and that's why this place is still here after 116 years. It's not because we were the cheapest or we had the most stuff or we had sales every week. It was because that when people walk through the door as strangers, they leave as friends to a sort, and there's a relationship that's formed there.